Thank you for calling GoC Helpline. How may I assist you? Ah, I hear your complaint. So you're a little upset with how strong GOC is, but also a little upset with how not as strong Israel's rebellion is. Let's see what we can do. Welcome back, baby. Tyler talks. I'm talking today. Took a little breather. I've been having a blast designing cards. I'm just it's what I've been doing. Haven't been making as much decks. Roots is out. It is amazing. That's gonna shake up everything. It's definitely going to open up the meta a little bit more, in my opinion. It also really helps new players have a competitive deck right away. Agar the Wise was talking about like a very strong deck with just, I think it was Nazareth and Meek Souls or something. Jay and I were talking about Silver, where it's just you need to get a Michael promo, but you just Michael the captain with wheel within a wheel. Like that's very good. So there's just a lot of really cool, fun stuff in there. So you're going to see the meta shift. More people are going to be playing with roots and incorporating all sorts of brigades into IR as well, and it'll just be really fun. I can't wait. And then we also have just the meta is constantly shifting. So I opened this video because I still hear a little bit of how strong GOC is, and I yeah, GOC strong, but there's so much to combat that, to stop it. You'll see Chad's having a lot of success with Soul Surfer, and I would say Chad's main point of that deck is getting to an early harvest time to play like complacent and distressed and lost souls that are really hard to get out from. That is a very good play. So he's doing very well with that deck. He has done very well with that deck. He didn't get to make it to Type 1 last year at Nationals, but I suspect he would have been bumping elbows up the top 10 and just seeing where it goes from there. Top 5, top 3, who knows? So I was talking to Mr. Hendricks about his Patriarchs Philistines, and we call it the Bruiser. Or do we? Do we call it the Bruiser, or did I just call it the Bruiser? I don't know. But I also have a similar build that focuses on tossing, where it is Goshen and Cross and Peace, and you're using Goshen for good and evil because you have the terrifying Philistines, and Cross is also going to toss on both sides. So I really like that build. It's a lot of speed. It blocks for days. You can DM me if you want that deck list, or I can do a video about it later. I just felt like I've been doing a lot of Patriarchs, so I didn't want to bring up that video right now or do one on that. But whenever Hendricks and I were talking, I was saying, it's really good and underrated is Covenant of Eden. And it reminds me a lot of Covenant with Death. When John Early won, Covenant with Death had been out for years, and people just weren't using it because it hurts, or it affects the whole board instead of just your opponent or something like that, or opponent's characters. It's all characters. Same with Covenant of Eden. It negates other dual icon cards. And then if you play another dual icon card, Covenant of Eden discards itself. Covenant of Eden was really never going to be played because GOC and LOC had so much really strong meek heroes and themes that it was tough to play a theme outside of a dual icon theme and be competitive. I do think you could have played like the nativity with the tokens and star and just like blast through and get your deck and then put a lockdown of Covenant Eden, but you could already do so much last year anyway that I'm not sure if that was necessarily needed. But I was trying to see what offense could quickly get to a Covenant of Eden and keep it out. I really wanted 40 years in here, like having Noah's Ark to play Covenant of Eden and then have 40 years is really good. But it's a dual icon card, and I really just want to keep Covenant of Eden active the entire game. So when you see my dual icon cards, Delivered, Daughter, Cub David, and I have Unsuccessful, and You Will Remain in the reserve. With Book of the Covenant, I could take out You Will Remain. I could play it turn 2, and I don't have to worry about. I can get Covenant of Eden the next turn, and that's okay because it negates other dual icon cards. You Will Remain cannot be negated on Book of the Covenant, and I had already played it, so it won't discard itself. So I'm not too worried about You Will Remain. Unsuccessful, I can grab via Storehouse or Saul. If I have to get the block with Saul unsuccessful, I will. If not, I can leave unsuccessful in there. This defense has a lot of blocks, so I'm not too worried about unsuccessful. Covenant with David, I'm going to play as a search up front. If I don't get it by turn 2 and I have Covenant of Eden active, then I'm really not worried. I don't have to play Covenant of David. It's more so an early card. Same with Delivered. I like the star ability. And then Pharaoh's Daughter, the whole point of the deck is to get Pharaoh's Daughter early. And then I'll play her and I'll Plague a Hailer, so it won't matter anyway. So we're not trying to do too much here. It just has a deck with a lot of options. So we can get out resources via fortresses and heroes, and enhancement. So we can get out resources. We can limit the opponent's resources. And we're constantly hiding our souls. So what I found with Wilderness is I don't really want to block all the time. I just want to hide my lost souls and move on. So I got some draw power in here on defense. I can play Burial in Israel's Rebellion, get those souls underneath, either shuffle them. I could either shuffle them or get them under the deck, keep them under with Sheol, and go from there. Keep moving on with life. Plenty of blocks I was able to bring in. Since I no longer had 40 years, I was able to open up the Unity, have Saul, Emperor Nero, and Denarius, so I have a little extra speed as well. Delivered's always good when I have Pharaoh's Daughter and Ways to Pharaoh's Daughter. I do lose the Lost Soul that gets her, but that's okay. So I really like this deck. It plays very well, and I think the Covenant of Eden gives it a really nice touch and an extra layer that the opponent has to get around. I have Sheol and Murderous Command to add to battle. I have an outside of battle block. I do have Israel's Rebellion where I can just come in and play Israel's Rebellion, and same with Grapes of Wrath. I felt like Grapes of Wrath was a good add because this is a little bit of a grind on both sides. And I'm not super aggressive. I'm going to always attack and have something, but I'm not super aggressive. Like, it's not the most efficient offense. I'm not just going to go 1, 2, 3. So I thought Grapes of Wrath would be a good card. It's a non-dual icon. That's why I could easily just slide Christian Martyr in here. That's okay too. Other than that, we do have a bunch of brigades because we're playing the Breakers. If you do play Brown, you really can't play Covenant of Eden because they use curses. So why I think Covenant of Eden is also so good is because if you're going against Brown Wilderness, which is Brown's very popular right now in general, you can play some of the strongest Brown evil characters with like Haman, Deceiver, Amalekite Slave, Foreign Wise, Murderous Command, and Persian Horseman, and you have a very small, very strong defense that gets a lot of blocks. So you want to mitigate those curses and use Covenant of Eden. So that's good. The opponent has to play Book of the Covenant for their Send the Helper and New Covenant as well, or else you're going to negate that. But we stopped so much of GoC and we stopped the curses, and we're really not affected. So it's a really good layer to have. I don't have everything in here that I want. I do lose Distressed because I'm soul hiding. I do lose, I don't have Jonah and the territory class hitters. I don't negate neutrals. So there's maybe some work to be done on different variants. And maybe, who knows, maybe this Moses changes. And I get back like I do the old Eternal Covenant trick. Pop my own Pharaoh's Daughter with Plague of Hail and then bring her back out and have bounce Moses and stuff. You can do that to where you just bounce your Moses, cow your Cloud Moses, and have Pharaoh's Daughter back down and then Cloud. It's really good. But So there's a few variants where maybe I could add in some more um, ways to hit the opponent. Uh, I don't like the opponent's deck being protected. I only have one way around that. It's curse their parents. I don't have a lot, so it's something I want to add in. I'd get out such a fast Plague of Hail that I'm not too worried. But other than that, it's okay with how the deck is made, that I can just Mount Sinai myself, and Zipporah can hit their reserve if their deck's only protected. But it's okay if their deck's protected. It's not the end of the world. So yeah, it's very consistent. I injected the additional speed into it. I got a lot of blocks. I hide my souls very well. I limit your resources. I usually get that top 5 real quick. And I put you into a pretty tough state if you're using GoC with Covenant with Eden and Noah's Ark early on. Or Covenant of Eden in Book of the Covenant, and it's CBN and protected as well. So 2 different areas to play it. It just depends on what I do. Usually it's just going to be on Book of the Covenant, and it's protected either way. So yeah, there's a lot of things going on with this deck. I don't think it's a too complex deck. It's definitely not easy to play, but compared to some others, it's not as complex just because you are trying to hide your lost souls, and you're adding to battle on offense a good bit. So we do have the best star card in the game, right? So I'm going to look at my top 6. I know that I have Aaron, but I don't have a way to Moses, so I do want to get a way to Moses, and that's either going to be Covenant with David, where I go into my fortress, or Offering of Wrongdoing, where I can just take Moses from deck. I don't want to take Moses. I'd rather have Pharaoh's daughter because I have Plague of Hail, so I'd rather go to away to Pharaoh's daughter. Other than, like, that's really all I was thinking of turn 1, or right in that moment. I wasn't even thinking about grabbing an Israel's Rebellion or a Saul. Like, I really don't care. I only want to get my deck going. So, send it to the top. This is going to the bottom. If they go first, it really doesn't matter. I have so much character power. They're gonna have to negate evil cards early on and have a band, and I still have a burial, or I get a Wandering Israelites, and I can have Soul Gen 2. So a Melechite Slave to 2 Sabbath Breakers is pretty good, especially if I can get protection and drawing. So I have plenty of blocks if they go first. I'm really not worried, and that's really why I like this. I enjoy blocking. I feel much more confident when I know I can block. I play better, and I have realized that about myself, that I've always known I like defense, but I play better when I know I can block. So that's another thing. Find out what's causing you to lose. That's what's causing you to be nervous during a game. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and put down Aaron. It doesn't matter if we go first or not, right? We're going to go ahead and put down Aaron. We are going to play a site from deck. We're going to go straight to Egypt. We could go to a fortress at Wilderness of Sinai. We don't want to do that. We just want to go straight to Egypt. Although Egypt can get us a Genesis or Exodus fortress later, and we could go to Wilderness of Sinai or Mount Sinai with Egypt. So maybe we do want to go to Wilderness of Sinai. Yeah, let's go Wilderness of Sinai. Take an Exodus hero from deck. So we're going to show Pharaoh's daughter. Covenant with David's going to be discarded. We're going to play Pharaoh's daughter as evil, of course. And we're going to go straight to Mo. And now we have Aaron to Moses, turn 1 with a Plague of Hail in our hand. It's very good. I wish I had someone else to ban to. I wish I had her or Medad or Zipporah. That'd be really nice, but oh well. So first, Aaron's going to take a tabernacle artifact from deck. And if you just push in like that, you're going to miss the May. So don't do that. So let him know, like, I'm going to ban, but I'm going to take my tabernacle artifact. And then you banned. And then you take an OT green or white enhancement. I love taking increasing numbers because now I have 2 negates in hand. They're pretty much going to have to hit me with a scattered. I say this every time I play Wilderness. They have to hit me with a scattered turn 1. If they hit me with anything that gives me initiative, then I get a Plague of Hail. If they can't block, then I get a Plague of Hail. And if they block with protection, I get a Plague of Hail. So they're going to have to do something with like a chump block or a CBN. So if that's the case, I would use Plague of Hail, discard Pharaoh's Daughter. I do like to use my counters here. When I play Wilderness, I like to count how many cards I theoretically discard from the opponent. This is a fortress. It goes up top. I can turn over book. And I don't have anything for Unity, so I don't need to put down anything. I'm good right now. If the opponent gets to go, or if the opponent is going to make a rescue, I can draw 1 in exchange. I like to go straight to the other breakers. And if I need to, I can banish my own if the opponent doesn't have anything in their discard pile. And then I can go from there. And then I can look at up to X random cards from a hand, and you may take a card, except the dominant. So I get to look at 2 and take 1. So I really like to get rid of their protection because usually your hand and your deck protection is built into 1 card. When you get like 4 or 5 Wilderness people out, this Sabbath Breaker is extremely difficult to get around. I'm pretty much just going to take your best card right there. And I get to prevent enhancements. So I would be a 3/11 preventing enhancements, and I take your best card. That's very good. I assume that's all I would need. If not, I could always underdeck all my Lost Souls if I didn't have the numbers or something. And if I didn't have the numbers, I wasn't going to block that way. I was going to block with like my protection stuff. So now we go into our draw. We don't have any of our upkeep triggers just yet, so we go straight into prep. I want to put down Storehouse, and I can turn over book, and I can go to deck or reserve. So before I turn that over, it's like, do we want to go to You Will Remain right now and then go to Covenant of Eden? Or do we just want to go straight to a Covenant of Eden and try to get like a really solid lock early on? It depends on what they're playing, right? If they're playing Brown Wilderness, we really want to take away their curses. That's a lot of Brown's blocks. Is just getting those curses over and over. And then if they're playing GoC, we also want to go to an early Covenant. The strength of this deck is getting to that Covenant of Eden so early because it's so easy to get to Aaron and Aaron to book. So it really just depends on what we want to do. If we're not seeing, we're going to turn over. If we're not seeing GoC, we can go into You Will Remain and then go into a Covenant of Eden and go from there. From here, we really don't need our Aaron to go into battle because we have a You Will Remain out. So if they get us on a scattered, we would lose all our heroes. I do want to go like a Zipporah. Opponent must discard the top or an evil card from reserve. So I'm still going to give myself a counter, and because it's going to be 1 card, whether it's the top or from reserve. And then go to Moses, and Moses gets the OT white. So I feel like I'm not necessarily outpacing my opponent at this time, but I'm in a very good spot. I can underdeck my Lost Souls. I can draw 1 off book, get something from Storehouse next turn, um, and I'm getting out enhancements, I feel very confident in my blocks. So pretty good overall. Opponent would have to go ahead and do something here. I really like Inhabitants Driven Out because it can break their unity. So like I can interrupt, bounce, and take an OT white card from reserve, and they would lose Sheol unity on my search. So I could use that. It just depends on what do I want to take out. Do I want a Royal Parade or potential land? It doesn't, just really whatever. I still haven't seen an Exodus deck with the Destroyer and Plagues and Play First and CBN. I haven't seen that yet. I'm kind of surprised, and maybe I just need to go ahead and put it together and put it out there. You do get Play First, CBN, Plagues, so it's pretty good, everyone. Depends on if they have anything here. Like I have a You Will Remain with an Aaron to come back. They would have to get out of Inhabitants Driven Out, and I have the Add to Battle, so I feel confident in my attack. Whether or not they can block me one way or the other, I would still have another way to come in. It'd be their turn, and then it's just a matter of what do we want to do. We don't have a Sheol or a Murderous Command yet for like the Add to Battle, but we do have the Burial, so we do want to draw out their dominance, and we don't have Covenant of Eden, so I do like to go to Saul, and just go ahead and take that unsuccessful and play it before Covenant of Eden. If I can get that as an early block, I'm happy. And the higher value I can make Burial, the better. Like if I can get some searching and then drop Burial mid-game, I'm happy. Mid-game for me means about turn 3 or 4. For a deck like this where I feel like I can block. So now I have 2 upkeep triggers. I can draw 1 off book. And then I can Storehouse and get an OT enhancement. I already know I'm going to get this with Book of the Covenant. So it's really just what do I want here? Do I want more enhancements? I'm not too worried about potential in the land now. If I need to play a Lost Soul from their deck, I will. This is also, I like keeping potential in the land for the turn after I play Israel's Rebellion. And then I go ahead and play potential in land and play a Lost Soul from their deck. If I feel like I need to grab Curse Their Parents or Destroying Bands, it doesn't matter. Destroying Bands is nice because Saul takes an enhancement of Matching Brigade, so I get the Interrupt and the Band on Saul with a bunch of Sabbath Breakers. So that is really good. So my upkeep's over. I'm happy. I have Mount Sinai. Could have gotten that earlier, but we went other ways. So I have plenty to attack with at this point. I'm going to go to Book of the Covenant and get Covenant of Eden. So now we're at turn 3. I would feel very, very confident here. They'd have to have a lot to get out from under constant pressure from Sinai, Zipporah, Covenant of Eden with Add to Battle. So I get they're going to discard their top card or a card from their reserve. Go to Moses, get an OT matching. I think it's only going to be Virgin Birth, right? I can get Delivered, but I have Covenant of Eden. And then I can shuffle, and then I can go to a Wilderness Hero, and I can take a good OT card from reserve, and then I have the automatic Add to Battle. Really love this card. The fact that you get the card from reserve, take a good OT card from reserve is huge, and then I can reserve him to add a Wilderness Hero to battles. Really strong. They'd have to be able to get out from an Add to Battle here, an Add to Battle here, and an Angel Lord. That is very good. There's really nothing I need with this. No need for me to hold this Virgin Birth. So I could either take a human from deck because I have a female out, or I can take Miriam from reserve. Chosen warriors can also get out Miriam, so I'm just going to go to deck and get out the protection. And now you're just adding another layer to what you already have to make your attack that much stronger. Still don't have Sheol, so I'm not too worried. I don't want to just break Unity though, just because. Probably put down Slave. So yeah, after that, I mean, we still have tons of blocks. I mean, we're gonna go Soul Gen. We like to keep a slave for after Israel's rebellion as well, but it's okay. If they searched, I can go into Sabbath Breaker. I can draw. I tend to have initiative. I can play Balaam's Disobedience. Still have Burial. Still have an Interrupt Band that can negate stuff, or that interrupt and then prevent and take stuff from their hands. So it's very strong. Not too worried about anything else at this point. Maybe Noah's Ark comes out because we are at 52. Maybe Noah's Ark comes out. I really like Noah's Ark. But I think that can come out just because Covenant of Eden's always going to be on Book of the Covenant. They would have to discard Book. So I don't know. A little bit of an extra. Let's flip it through one more time and see if it's just as consistent. So we have our 8. We don't have a way to Moses. And that's okay. We still do have a couple decent things. I mean, we don't have a strong attack at all. So hopefully we would go second. Because if we go second, we would want the draw 3 to help us out. I still want it. Go ahead and put down Ark, Storehouse. We can't do anything with Book because we don't have a priest down. We can't go straight to Covenant with David. Kind of stinks. We are seeing more evil characters played now, when it used to be like 6. Now you are seeing that 8 to 10 evil characters. I used to always attack first turn no matter what. But I really like keeping my Zipporah out. So I don't know if I would just attack for a discard top and hope they don't have an evil character. Especially because I don't have defense. So we can't really do anything here. More of a whiff as long as they don't have Soul Gen. I don't know if I'd put a Sabbath Breaker down just to have that draw 2 off him. So if they had Soul Gen, more than likely they're going to search. I'd get the draw 2 and the protection if that's what they attacked with. That's good. Virgin Birth should always help us out. Reveal to owner, top 6. And what do we want to take? We do have Wilderness of Sinai and Storehouse. It's already out, so we could go to like a Sheol and start having Sheol out. If they search, you're underdecking early on. Sheol is really good early on. It's just annoying. You're just constantly putting a Lost Soul underneath. Or we can go to Egypt, which gets us, at this point, really Mount Sinai. We already have a way to Wilderness of Sinai, which means we have Pharaoh's daughter, which means we have Moses. I'm not too worried. I think I am going to take Sheol here, just because we want to have that early search counter. Storehouse triggers on upkeep. And we could go to Covenant of Eden. I don't think... it just, once again, it all depends on what we're playing, because Storehouse can take Covenant of Eden right now. But, oh, yeah, no duh. Don't do that, Tyler, you dummy. You have Book. So, if we feel like we could block, probably could just go to a Plague of Frogs. flip over book, and then once again, all depends on what we play. We like to go You Will Remain first, and then Covenant with Eden, or I think that's what I was getting at. I'm not as dumb as I thought. We took Covenant of Eden with Storehouse, Book of the Covenant. We take You Will Remain, and then we activate Covenant of Eden afterwards, and put back our Plague of Hails. That's not a bad play, so we could do that as well. Drop Sheol. This could go over here too. Doesn't matter. Sheol down. I put down Wilderness of Sinai, and I am going to get my Pharaoh's daughter. And we're going to play Pharaoh's daughter as evil, which breaks our Sheol. We are going to put down Emram, and then we're going to attack with Zipporah. That's going to give us my little counter for one resource that we got rid of, and then we go to Moses. And they know what's coming, like Plague of Hail, Pharaoh's daughter. So I do have protection from the first, which is really nice to have protection from the first and then have a negate. They're going to have to do two different things. They can't use an end of battle. So that's more than likely the play. I really like getting that Plague of Hail. I feel like your win percentage is very high if you use a Plague of Hail early. You discard 5 of their cards, or you're discarding, up to 5 plus making some souls. Just take 5 cards out of your deck at random and discard them, and just see like the effect that Plague of Hail would have on you. Like, let's do it right now. Let's move a random 5 to the top of our banish pile, and I would lose Second Coming. I'd lose a Battle Winner, and I would be like, and then I would generate a Lost Soul. I like having the value from Virgin Birth. I would be okay with losing Virgin Birth and Sabbath Breaker, but I still like this Sabbath Breaker coming in on bans. But yeah, you discarded an enhancement, an evil character, you generated a Lost Soul. That alone is good. And then you popped a Battle Winner and a Dominant. So that's kind of what I mean by just the effect of Plague of Hail. And we'll do it one more time. I already gave it a shuffle. Move random 5 to the top of banish pile. We got a hero that I really like. Both of my exchangers. This doesn't matter. That doesn't necessarily matter. So the hero that I always end my chain with, and 2 of my exchangers. This is probably the best case scenario for me, and it still sucks to lose that much. So, especially in these, just being honest, especially in the GoC decks where every card is good. You pop some stuff there. It's like, all right, I got an AOC and a good, like a Resurrection and John the Fisherman. Like, you see that stuff all over the place. All right, I'm rambling. So at this point, pretty set up. It is their turn. I think I would drop 1. I don't know which one, but I do want to drop. I don't need to drop 1. I can leave him down, because what I would do is I would banish a card, whether it's mine or theirs. Banish a card and prevent enhancements, and then get the draw 3 with the protection. And then I have a CBN and a potential CBN to back it up, or I have Israel's Rebellion, and I have Sheol. So that is a lot to get around. I have my draw 3, so my upkeeps. I have no stars. I draw 1 off of book. I draw 1, and I have Storehouse trigger. I'll take whatever here. I usually take my protection just in case they have something. And then I can play Virgin Birth to go to deck. I like to get out Chosen Warriors, or I can just get out Medad. and Medad goes to Chosen Warriors. Um, and then I go to Zipporah, to Moses, to Medad, exchange from deck, Chosen Warriors. I go to reserve, and I take a OT card. I have enhancements for days, I have dominance, and I have blocks for days. So as you can tell, it's a very good deck. I feel like it's pretty much a well-oiled machine. It's got blocks. It's got rescues. Covenant of Eden is not game-changing, but it is a huge card. Like you can negate all their, like you negate Matthew, like you negate all their dual icon heroes pretty much, unless they're CBN, you're negating them. Having the Sheol, try to get Sheol out early if you can. Don't be afraid to use Sheol's add to battle. If you got to win the battle, use it. So it's really good to have all these Sabbath breakers where you could add a Sheol to battle, or add a breaker to battle, and you got a 07 that takes a card from their hand. Even if it's one, you're still taking a card from their hand. So you're doing a lot of limiting their resources, whether you're preventing their enhancements, gaining protection, taking stuff from their hand, discarding their top 5, discarding with Zipporah. We didn't even get Mount Sinai out. That's kind of the case against Mount Sinai, is it's a you have to get it early to get value, and maybe Mount Sinai comes out because we are at 52. But either way, I really like it. I could see the case for Christian Martyr or something else over Grapes, but go from there. The only thing I'm wondering is Covenant Eden better than having dual icon cards? I think because of the curses and GoC running around, I do think Covenant of Eden is worth the slot, especially when you have a deck that just works without it. So I really like this build. You guys have seen me use like Welcome to the Wilderness before. I do think that's a very good build as well. This is the Covenant of Eden version to kind of combat the brown, because I do think the brown defense is a little stronger, which is weird to say, especially with how much good stuff gray has. That's kind of why I did an offset with Sheol and Murder's Command for Amalekite Slave and Foreign Wives. So yeah, that's all. I don't need to keep on playing it. As you can tell, I'm pretty much always going to have enhancements, add to battle and DOMs and all that good stuff while I limit your resources. So I hope you all enjoyed. Kept it under 40 minutes. That is not normal of me. So if you haven't checked out the video on Jaden's channel, Redemption with Jaden, where Chris and I were on and did like the live stream. That's, if you go to his channel, it's not, I don't believe it's under his videos. I think you have to click live and it's going to be under his live section. That was a really good video, talking about Israel's deliverance and little tidbits of future redemption and current design and all sorts of stuff. So that was really good as well. I think I was just talking just to try to get the 40 minutes. But my biggest challenge is think outside the box. If you're losing games, why are you losing? Like where I started from the beginning of this video, saying that I feel confident knowing I can block. When my defenses are stronger, I play better. Recognize what's making you lose games. I talked about this in my other video of decision making is very difficult from what I'm seeing. And people are taking a lot of time doing something. And if they get hurried, they kind of freak out. So know your deck, make your decisions. Even if it's the wrong one, it's okay. Just a card game. We'll get it. We'll get through this. And then see, are you losing to a player because they're better? And if so, why? Like, learn from them. Or are you losing to a deck? And if you're losing to a deck, Um, what can you do? Can you modify your deck? Can you just take some of their parts of their deck that are beating you, or tech against them, whatever it may be? So learn from one another, and hopefully I'm gonna try to be at Jay's tournament. Um, it's very important to him. It's very important to me to be there. So I'm gonna see what I can do about that. But that should be a very big tournament, December 2nd up in Michigan. So we want to support Jay and be there. Um, and then we have Mr. Classic coming up. And we're going to have another Lackey Grand Prix, and Roots is going to be out. Eventually, we'll have the Lackey plug-in, so it'll be fun. Look at me. I went over 40 minutes, though, so y'all be good. Ask questions, learn from one another, play games, message me with anything you got. Appreciate y'all watching. See y'all.